from a Labour perspective, easing of the lockdown from level 5 to level 4. We're on the line to SAFTU General Secretary Zwelinzima Vavi. He joins us now. Very good evening to you, and thank you so much for speaking to us. SAFTU is obviously sharing its commentary on not only the situation that the country finds itself in, but the measures. And it would be even more interesting to hear from you, somebody who's had to contend with COVID-19, affected and infected. What is your response to the announcement?
Well, in overall, so I don't think that the country has a choice but to follow the leadership. And this stance of South Africa, the steps that have been announced, have been hailed by everybody across the world, including the World Health Organization, and they have produced results, and the results are positive, even though we count 75 people dead today, but it could have been worse if the lockdown didn't happen. The lockdown is a hard pill to swallow. It's a heavy punch to every South African, and we must accept that this punch is received by people sitting in different classes and in different economic conditions. For the working class, it's been absolutely hectic. It's been very hard, in particular for workers who were promised that they will be given a UIF to supplement their income. The inefficiencies in the Department of Labor are absolutely shocking. And as a result, loads and loads of workers are not having any kind of income. They're waiting in a queue. The department have agreed that it is overwhelmed. Secondly, there is such a rush by the unscrupulous employers who are cutting corners, forcing workers back without any protective clothing, without observing any of the regulations the department or the president has announced. And thirdly, we think that the government itself have somehow undermined its own resolutions and regulations by allowing the mining sector to be declared at 50% as essential services without any justifiable reason. The mining industry was given its maintenance and essential services, and but they still gave it more. They gave it 50% to operate, and immediately some mining bosses moved not at 50 to 100%. We've written a letter to the president to say, hold on, we need you to go back to treating everybody the same. You can't say the wine bosses are different from the rest of the manufacturing sector and so forth.
Mr. Vavi, we are running out of time, but I must ask you this. How are you feeling today? Have your results reflected anything different? You did mention that you keep testing positive, but in terms of symptoms, you're doing quite well.
I'm doing quite well. I think I'm out of the danger. And of course, my sympathy and the message of solidarity goes to the families that have lost one and their loved ones. But I'm fine. I continue to improve. I do things slowly. I'm instructed by the doctors to sleep more and rest more. But in between, I do work for SAFTU, and I do some exercises, and I continue to isolate myself from the rest of the family. And I continue to observe all of the rules of mask and gloves and drinking warm things, lots of water, lots of vitamin C, lots of garlic, lots of ginger, and lots of iron in my body.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, and wishing you the best as well. General Secretary of SAFTU, Zwelinzima Vavi.